The new colony grows. More and more Puritans arrived from England following the arrival of John Winthrop and the original colonists. The colonies of Connecticut, Rhode Island, Plymouth, and Massachusetts Bay were continuing to grow. Settlers began to move westward. William Pinchon led settlers west of the Connecticut River, some 100 miles from Boston. There, they founded the town of Springfield. Governor Winthrop knew trade was important. He had a ship built called the Blessing of the Bay. The colony began to trade fur, dried fish, food, and lumber up and down the Atlantic coast. Soon, every town with a good harbor was building ships. The Great Expansion. As the 1600s came to an end, the colony continued to grow. Cities such as Boston had more and more buildings. More people spread out from the coast to start new towns. Older towns split to form new towns and cities. Over time, Dedham, Massachusetts became 6 towns. Colonists moved further westward where the land was better suited for farming. They founded many new towns such as Belchertown, Deerfield, and Stockbridge. New roads. The first colonial roads followed existing native trails, but the new townspeople wanted better roads to link new towns such as to Boston and other cities. It was important to link towns and cities to the coast. New roads. The first colonial roads followed existing native trails, but with new towns, people wanted better roads linking new towns to Boston and other cities. It was important to link towns and cities on the coast to new towns inland. One of these roads, the Boston Post Road, went right through Sudbury. In November 1645, John Winthrop Jr., son of Massachusetts Bay Colony governor, began a long and difficult tour of southern New England. In choosing his route, he relied on native trails. One of these would later be referred to as the Boston Post Road. It ran from Boston to Springfield. Along these roads, people built taverns and inns. It's important to understand that people traveled by horse or by foot. Sudbury would have been a day's journey from Boston. As a sign at Nash's Tavern in Amherst read, "Drink for the thirsty, food for the hungry, lodging for the weary, and good keeping for horses." A number of taverns were located right here in what is now Sudbury. Rice Tavern was such a tavern. The tavern opened in 1685. It was located on what is now the town line between Sudbury and Maynard. A stone marking the spot where Rice Tavern once stood can be found in the Aspet Wildlife Refuge near Cutting Field. Clearing more land. Timber was easy to get in New England. There were forests full of tall trees. Shipbuilders needed wood to build ships. They particularly needed tall, straight trees to use as ships' masts. Timber was also needed to build growing towns. Loggers cut down trees and sent them to mills to be cut. Timber was also sold to other colonies and shipped back to England. Farmers cut down trees too. They cleared land for crops and pastures. They moved heavy rocks out of the way and stacked them, making walls that marked their fields. You can see those, if you walk through the woods here in Sudbury now, you can see those markings, those walls. Farmers cut down trees too. They cleared land and crops for pastures. They moved heavy rocks out of the way and stacked them, making walls that marked their fields. If you walk through our forests around Sudbury right now, you can see those stone walls. They're all over New England. New England was changing from forest to open farmland.